From the world's largest democracy and most ancient civilization to the world's oldest democracy and home of the New World, from the place where Hindu Dharma emerged and flourished to where it is finding new expression and revitalization, World Hindu Congress is coming to America September 7th through 9th, 2018. What is the World Hindu Congress? It's a global platform for Hindus to connect, share ideas, inspire one another, and impact the common good. It is a movement not to be missed.
Welcome to Chai with Manju. We have a very multifaceted guest with us today. He is a professor of accounting and finance at Sloan School of Management at MIT. He is director of MIT India program and most recently the chair of World Hindu Congress to be held in Chicago in September. Let us meet Shri Prakash Kothari, who is very popularly known as SP Kothari. SP,
hello.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
You're most welcome, Manju. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to your most recent role at the World Hindu Conference, let's start with where your journey began in India. So, you are from Karnataka, right?
Yes, yes.
Gulbarga, right?
Yeah.
So, tell us about your early years.
It's a little town in Karnataka on the border of Maharashtra and Karnataka.
Okay, okay.
And so, as a result, we, even though ancestrally I'm a Gujarati, but we spoke Marathi at home.
Okay.
But I grew up in Karnataka, so nothing kind of adds up. But
Okay.
nonetheless, it has been a marvelous journey.
Okay.
It was a small, sleepy town. I was very fortunate in having parents who were not only educated, but they emphasized education.
Okay.
I did my schooling over there.
I heard the schooling was a breeze for you.
Yeah, it was relatively easy.
Okay.
But a lot of love and affection.
Right.
I mean, I made very good friends over there, of course.
Okay.
Those were young days.
Okay.
And what really transformed me was the fact that my father, he thought that I should not just go locally for education.
Okay.
And he introduced BITS Pilani.
Okay.
And I applied. I was fortunate in getting into BITS Pilani. That was 1974.
And you were also the first chairperson of BITSA too, right? How did that come about?
So the Alumni Association, we didn't have an Alumni Association of BITS. And Anupendra and some others were sort of thinking about putting together an organization.
Okay.
And they approached me and said that would I take the role.
Okay.
And I was flattered, I was honored.
Okay.
And I accepted it, and in 6 years from nothing to it became an organization of 200 volunteers.
Wow.
So that was it was good to be working for the alma mater.
Absolutely.
I'm very proud to be a Bitsian.
When I told some of the Bitsians that I was going to interview you, they said, "Oh, hamare Bits ki shaan hai."
As I said before to you, I mean, people exaggerate. We had to.
Well,
it's very flattering
good
to.
things gets exaggerated. It's okay. So that subsequently you went to again one of the finest institute in India, of course, in Ahmedabad, Indian Institute of Management. What was that like?
That was also magical. That
Really?
was, yeah, it was truly
Okay,
magical.
okay.
I mean, we were slightly older, so I might kid myself into believing that I was slightly more mature. We were, but the group was more diverse.
Okay.
It was students from or with background in economics or humanities as well as engineering,
Okay.
commerce. The faculty were, it was much more aligned with Harvard Business School.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
Indian Institute of Management. Ahmedabad was started by Harvard. And
okay, I didn't
incidentally,
know that.
BITS Pilani was started by
Oh.
MIT.
Oh,
so
really?
I sitting in India, I received world-class education
goodness. Okay.
at institutes started by these two world-renowned institutes, And it so happens that I have taught at both of these schools. So who would have thought? I mean,
that seed was already sown in India.
It's as I said, I had to pinch myself how wonderful the world has been, and how grateful I am for all the good things that have happened.
And then then you came to United States, and you have a PhD from University of Iowa, and then you have played a big role at Berkeley till MIT came calling, right?
Yes.
What has the journey at MIT been like?
So let me put it this way. I went to University of Iowa, and then at University of Rochester, and then at MIT. And well, all these places have been phenomenal in terms of people. I almost got informally a second PhD at Rochester, because that group was very talented, and I sort of was another round of education, if you will, even though there's no formal degree. But what is different about these three institutions is that how willing they are to think big. And MIT doesn't get any bigger than MIT. Okay. MIT is different in that respect. Yes. You run into Nobel laureate just like that, and you realize how humble, how talented, how helpful they are, in spite of the fact that they are Nobel laureates. But somehow they have checked their ego somewhere, before they walk into the building. That's how it seems. And as I said, it's truly humbling.
Now, before we get to the hot topic of today, I have to ask you a little bit about your personal life,
of course.
About your wife Daphne and your two daughters. Right. So tell us, how did you meet your wife?
I met my wife Daphne in Rochester. She was in the university also, working not as an academic, but working there, and one thing leads to another. We were young at that time, and next thing you know, we were married. Okay. And she is Greek. At home, she always says that if someone has seen the big
fat Greek wedding,
yes, her life was to the T.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I can attest to that. That Windex is used very liberally in that household.
You have to show the big fat Indian wedding. Now let's talk about this on a more serious mode. I know this huge World Hindu Congress is being held September 7th to 9th at Chicago Western, right?
That's correct.
And tell me, why did you grow up with that Hindu background, or what made you so interested in to be a part of that?
Yeah. Spirituality, well, I can't say that I'm huge in that, but I recognize that organizations, be it religion or other organizations, have enormous ability to make a difference. And Hindu, one is religion, but as a way of life, and sheer number of people, not just in India, but in different parts of the world. Right. I think there is tremendous latent force there. And I think we have to harness that energy. And I thought that this was an opportunity to do that. And as I look back, I mean, Hinduism has been a beacon of spirituality. It has also been, it has taught us about tolerance and inclusiveness.
Absolutely, at its root.
So there is no question that there is a glorious past here, and much to be learned. And that's why my first message is about enlighten. We are to enlighten the world about what Hinduism is. And I thought that World Hindu Congress is an opportunity. But going back to the question that you asked, did I grow up in that fashion? I can't say that was my first and foremost commitment. No, it hasn't been. It has been in the background role that it has played, but it has not been in the outer sense in my day-to-day activities. So when the organization, when they approached me, I also was somewhat incredulous about it, and I said, "Why me?" I mean, and they were also very candid about it. They said that, well, we recognize you have accomplished, you are reputed, and you also are at an institute that is world-renowned university. So we thought that having leadership from someone of that background would be helpful. And the second, they said that we also think that you would be bold. And I said, I won't disappoint you. It's a distinct privilege to lead. We have 2,000 delegates who have already registered. Registration is sold out. Yes, it is.
That's a big achievement.
If you give me something extra, I will try to work you in, Manju. No, I'm just kidding. So it has been.
If you let me interview the Dalai Lama.
From 40 countries, yes. So we have representation from so many different countries.
250 speakers, I heard.
Yes, an array of speakers, who's who.
Right, I heard. Give us some names.
So, Dalai Lama, of course.
Shri is coming.
Shri is coming, yes, so he is coming. And we have some political leaders from Mauritius and other places, from India. We have some. And we have RSS top brass. I mean, some of them are also Mohan Bhagat. Yes, absolutely. So this is not, and Raju Reddy is the vice chair, and I'm very proud of Raju Reddy. Not only that he is a Bitsian, but he is truly a brilliant, successful entrepreneur. On top of that, he defines what giving back.
That's wonderful.
And so I admire him.
Wonderful. And there's also Women's Forum. I was very
Absolutely.
happy to see.
Two other messages that I have are reform and advance. And reform is to acknowledge that while Hinduism and Hindu way of life has been, as as I mentioned, has been spirituality, inclusiveness, tolerance, but we also could do better.
Yes.
And reform, and one of the areas of reform is about empowering women, women's equality issues. I think Hinduism, we could do as a society more than where we are.
One of the most important things for me is inclusiveness, because I think that's what the world needs at this time, especially even in the United States. I think that inclusiveness is a very important message. Now, what is the final, is there any set goals that you have?
So the third is advance, which is economic development. Progress almost always, that journey traverses through economic development. Without that, it is difficult to achieve the other goals, be it women's empowerment or be it within the religion, some of the caste system that we have. If we want to blur the boundaries and make it more opportunity being available, and in that sense we are inclusive and equal. So that, I think, comes increasingly with economic advancement. So one of the goals of the conference is to, in fact, I would say two goals. One is to create an institutional setup that will bring people with ideas and people with resources together so that economic progress can take place. And I think the entire diaspora abroad, as well as the population in India, I think they can make tremendous progress if ideas and capital are brought together and facilitated, and we provide a bit of a forum for that to happen. And the second, of course, is the social progress that has to take place. And I think it does not take place unless the society, individuals within the society talk about it. There is debate, there is issues that they discuss, and that gets transpired not only among the adults, but it gets communicated and inculcated in the newer generation. So that's how I think we will make progress. This is not going to happen overnight, but we ought to take the steps.
And I have to say, even in starting in this Congress, World Hindu Congress that's taking place in Chicago, there's a lot of excitement in Boston as well.
Yes.
We have some clip from Sanjay ji and Hastana and Parul too that we'll be showing in this interview. So there's a lot of excitement. So my one request is bring it to Boston next time. We would love that, huh?
I think it would be fitting
Yes,
to bring it. I mean,
absolutely.
Chicago was a natural choice because Vivekananda,
yes,
125 years ago, and that is an truly
Yes.
inspiring speech,
absolutely.
and what a greatest ambassador of Hinduism
Oh, of course.
India has ever produced.
Namaste. That on this planet there are more than 1 billion people who are Hindus and do believe in Hindu value system. And if we go out on the street and talk to people, common folks, you won't find many people who are aware about Hindus or their belief system. So I thought this is the perfect time to bring people from all around the globe to one platform from where they will inspire each other, where there is an opportunity to learn from each other, and also to share what we have to bring to the humanity. And a drop of water falls from the sky, and if you have a clean hand and you capture it on your hand, you can even drink it. But if the same drop of water falls into a drain, you won't even be able to wash your feet with it. But if the same drop of water falls on the leaf of a lotus, it will shine like a pearl. And if it goes into an oyster, it actually becomes a pearl. So it is the existence of the same thing, but its association with what it associates makes a difference. And here we are to show, if everybody associates with Hindus and what Hindus have to bring to this world, they will be able to make a difference in their life. And that is basically the crux of this Hindu Congress.
The World Hindu Congress is a historic and a unique movement to organize the Hindu community worldwide. And the purpose is to project the presence and the strength of the Hindu community on the world stage. The theme for this conference is Sumantrite Suvikrante. To think collectively and achieve valiantly. Hindus have done very well individually in all of these dimensions. But the World Hindu Congress is all about bringing them together as a collective. And when we do things as a collective and when we present ourselves and establish our presence as a collective, only then can this movement go forward and bring about the change that we want.
I've been in US for over 25 years and I've been an educator all my life. So I have signed up for educational conference. I'm looking forward to see how our knowledge, our creativity, and our collective thoughts can be used to teach the Hindu way of life, and so that in order to bring positive changes into global perspective. So I'm really excited to what I learned from this conference. I'm excited to bring it to my classroom.
Thank you so much, and I would invite, well, we are sold out, but hopefully you'll have live transmission so all
We
of us
certainly
can
will.
watch it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Manju.